Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. I'm Jenny Taft with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys,
Rodgers was good last night.
I have a prediction to make. I say that 24 hours from this very moment, you will be wearing a goat mask. And then you'll take it off and put on the baby goat mask for AD, because the Lakers parade starts tonight in Orlando, and it will come all the way across country to downtown Los Angeles.
I almost put on my 12 package.
Yeah. Why?
Think about it. You know, don't do that, Skip. You watched the game last night.
Against that team? that was like a high school team they played. Lord.
Well, I wish you could get a hold of Dallas's defense.
Yeah.
all right. I would like to talk about the GOAT. Maybe that mask.
Oh, yeah.
We're about to see pretty soon, guys, because LeBron and the Lakers are looking to bounce back in Game 4 tonight after Sunday's surprising loss to the Heat thanks to Jimmy Butler's monster 40-point triple-double. Yesterday, LeBron was transparent about how he stays focused amid adversity, telling reporters, quote, "Until the series is completed, I kind of stay on edge, stay locked in on the job at hand." So, Shannon, how crucial is this game tonight for LeBron and the Lakers?
Well, the Lakers just need to play Lakers basketball, come out with more intensity, not be careless with the basketball like they were Sunday night. We know they're a better team than what they displayed. And still, it took a historic effort from Jimmy Butler. It took LeBron and AD to play below what they been playing at in the playoffs in order for the Heat to win. They did pull away and win by double digits, but the game was nip and tuck. And even though AD was in foul trouble, he wasn't as aggressive as he needed to be. They were very careless with the basketball. The Lakers did take a 91-89 lead with, I think, about 9 minutes left in the ball game. So it just goes to show you the Heat they need to play really well, and the Lakers need to play well below the standard in which the Lakers have set for themselves. But Skip, there's something that I've noticed, and there's a point, a number that the Lakers need to get to. When the Lakers get to at least 30 points in the first quarter, they're 9-0. That's because it tells me that not only are they getting second chance points, they're scoring in the paint, they're getting out, they're up tempo. And that's what we need to see the Lakers. When they don't get to that number, they normally struggle throughout the game because that means the team are getting, the opposing team is getting an opportunity to set their defense. And the Lakers are at their best when they're running, getting those early lobs to AD out in the fast break. If you notice, Skip, AD is always back. He's always deep. They always have the little guys. They have Dwight or they have LeBron at the line because they're always looking for the heads up to try to get an advantage. AD on someone small, they throw it towards the rim. AD get it, dunk it, or get the foul. So I think that's what's going to happen. I know. And like I said, after Jimmy Butler said what he said, he's not winning another game.
That's it?
I'm going to follow you up because I know what you're going to do.
Lakers in 5?
Lakers in 5.
That's what I predicted, and I will stand by my prediction. But I will also say tonight is a huge night for your man, LeBron James. This is a legacy night because he got completely outplayed and he got called out by one Jimmy Butler in Game 3. And that was the first man who has ever outscored, out-rebounded, and out-assisted LeBron James in a finals game. Yeah. So that's pretty
opposing
impressive.
Team or own team.
Correct. And Jimmy Butler obviously put together a masterpiece of a 40-point triple-double. I thought it was the greatest triple-double in finals history. 40, 11, and 13. And it took, to your point, every last one of those points and rebounds and assists to pull off what I consider the greatest upset in finals history. Single game upset, not the total, obviously, but just single game. And it took all of that for the Miami Heat to shock your Los Angeles Lakers and bring this series back to mildly interesting at 2-1.
Right.
Well, obviously, if somehow the Heat replicated that tonight and pulled off 2-2, it would get extremely interesting. And I think the bandwagon would start to roll again for the Miami Heat. I think the Lakers bandwagon is going to roll over the Heat tonight because the truth is this has been an epic mismatch in games 1 and 2. And I'm going to remind everybody in game 1, the Lakers went on a tear in mid-game that went 77-32. That's how much better they were in game one than the Miami Heat. And I also remind everybody that Jimmy Butler had to do it on both ends because they scrapped their zone in game three. Thank God for that, because it is so torturable for LeBron and company because it's not even a very good zone. I don't even get the concept.
Well, Skip, it's not so much that it's torturable, it's that it's hard to rebound. Because it's,
I think it's torturable because you're just going to get threes wherever you want them.
But the thing is, they were torturable if the Lakers had guys that can consistently make threes.
All right. So Jimmy Butler said, let's not play any more zone. I assume it was his driving force of a push to say, let me take him. And so he took him most of the game. And again, Jimmy Butler had a plan. He said, I'm going to sag off LeBron. I'm going to just let him shoot the threes, but I'm going to try to bother him at the rim as much as I can.
Right.
And I thought he pulled that off, especially in the fourth quarter. He forced LeBron into 4 turnovers, and 2 of them were so un-LeBron because they were awkward-looking travels where he couldn't quite get his rhythm going to the basket because Jimmy's hanging with him.
Right.
And Jimmy's fairly long, but he's very savvy and like a nasty defender where he gets angles, he gets spots, and he was getting his hand up to bother LeBron's drives where LeBron couldn't find the opening just to power it down or dunk it. And so 2 awkward travels, 4 total turnovers just in the fourth quarter, 8 turnovers for the game. And obviously, he had 3 three-point attempts that were, I thought they were just uncontested. I guess you could argue one of them had a mild contest, but they're shots that LeBron can make.
Right.
And I believe he has to make those shots tonight because he will get dared to shoot those again tonight. Now we're back to the old Greg Popovich syndrome and theory that just dare him to shoot. We're going back to 2013-14 finals when Pop would be over there just waving defenders back from the line. Just let him shoot that. We just can't have him at the rim.
Right.
What was the Spurs' motto in those finals? No dunks.
Right.
Because especially, we don't have a home crowd now, but especially when they were in Miami in those days, if he dunked it at home, you've made the point that now the dunk, it used to be the most electrifying play, but it's the three-point shot.
Right.
But in LeBron's case, the dunk is still electrifying because he is still, dare I say, the most spectacular dunker.
Yeah.
He can still rise, and it's always dramatic, spectacular. He'll put a little whipped cream on it.
A lot of it has to do with who's actually dunking the basketball. It used to be the dunk, anybody can dunk. Now it's still if LeBron is the one that's dunking
I got it. Okay, so Jimmy Butler then said after the game that, and we're going to get into deeper debate on this a little later in the show, but Jimmy Butler said that LeBron told him at the end of the first quarter, you're in trouble. So at the end of the game, he makes the sort of the dagger shot, the drive shot with 1:15 left, and he goes to the bench saying they're in trouble, as in the Lakers, you're in trouble.
Right.
Okay, you Lakers are in trouble. And there's discrepancy after the game. LeBron saying, well, I didn't start the trash talk, but Jimmy says, so to your point, it's a call out in many ways, on many levels. And here we go into what becomes a pivotal game 4. And it's time for LeBron to pay his team back for a pretty awful fourth quarter by his standards. And it's also time for him to guard Jimmy Butler. And I think he will. I think he'll take him. And I also think it's time for them to swallow their pride and say, let's try to give LeBron, if he's going to take him, let's give him some help, and let's get the ball out of Jimmy Butler's hands. They have not tried that yet.
Yeah.
If
I don't believe they will because of those marksmen that they have. They don't want to give up three-point shots.
Okay, but he is the whole show. He scored 40 points without taking a three, which is phenomenal. It's almost impossible in this day and age.
Well, here's the thing, Skip, but we did see him score 40 points in game 1 in the semifinals against the Bucks. But here we are in game 3 of the finals that he got another 40. So the likelihood of him scoring another 40 or having another historic epic game is not very likely.
He also had 6 in the closeout game against Indiana.
Right, so let's not
against Milwaukee, he had a 13-point game, and against Boston, he had a 14-point game because he doesn't seem to care egotistically about scoring. There's no ego involved. He just wants to win the game however they can win it.
Right, and so for me, Skip, I don't think the Lakers will overreact. Overcommit to Jimmy and let Tyler Hero and let Duncan Robinson and let guys get spot wide open looks at the basket for threes. They're not going to do that. They won't overreact. They just say, AD stays out of foul trouble. I expect AD. Because, Skip, if you think about it, they've always played through AD. AD normally gets the first shot unless it's a wide open three or LeBron gets something driving to the basket. Other than that, AD normally goes down on the block. They dump the ball down to him. Okay, AD, do whatever. And you remember, Skip, there were, what was that? The other night, I think the second half.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, that was that, what game was that, Skip? When they dumped the ball like 7 straight times, AD got the ball. And so before anybody even took a shot, AD had like 7 shots. That's what I expect. LeBron's not going to force it. LeBron is not going to get into a back and forth. Well, Jimmy did this, LeBron, you need to come back. That's not how he plays. He's never played like that.
I disagree with your point. They better swallow their pride. I would take the ball out of Jimmy's hands. When he wasn't scoring the other night, they struggled to score because they look at each other like, is it your turn or my turn or what? They need Jimmy to initiate it because once he starts it, then they get in a flow and a rhythm, and then they all feel confident and comfortable. Okay, now it's my turn to shoot. And if you completely disrupt that by saying Jimmy can't shoot, and you're gonna try to turn him into that 6-point scorer where he just doesn't get a shot, he's not even a shot creator. He's not a prolific scorer. He averaged 20 points a game. So what are the odds he could score 40 again tonight?
Right.
They're about 0.
That's why you don't overreact and double him and leave guys like Robinson. The thing that they've done really well is that they've disrupted his rhythm. Skip, he's a tremendous off-the-dribble shooter. He's a tremendous catch-and-shoot shooter. You don't want him to get open looks. So let's control him, because the biggest thing was it wasn't the 40 that they gave up. It was the 13 assists that got everybody else involved. You can live with that. What LeBron is killing people, Skip, is that when he get double-digit assists and you allow him to get 30, well, you're in trouble.
Okay, but Jimmy was getting the assist by getting into the lane. And if you put 2 on him and try to take the ball out of his hands near midcourt, he doesn't do that anymore. You will tear apart their offense. Their offense is Jimmy Butler or bust. He has to start it, and they finish it occasionally, but he's still going to finish it with a lot of mid-range.
Well, they got a lot of it in some transitions also in transition because the Lakers weren't making shots. They weren't rebounding. Make them take it out the net.
Okay.
And then you get an opportunity to set your defense.
So I said this series was an epic mismatch going in because your team has by far the 2 best players on the floor. So it's time for LeBron to rise and shine, as he is highly capable of doing. And it's also time for his co-star, or you could argue his better half, his more explosive half, because it's time for AD to do more than he took 9 shots the other night. He scored 15 points, and it's because he got in early foul trouble. And he had 2 offensive fouls, and it took him out of his confidence level. He seemed shook by it.
Because AD normally, Skip, if you know, AD plays the entire first half. LeBron normally will come out at the 5-minute mark, and then he'll come back in with about a minute, maybe 2 minutes left. So he plays somewhere between 8 and 9 minutes in the first. AD will start the second quarter on the bench. He normally sits there for about 4 to 5 minutes because they're trying to get him to somewhere around 18, 19 minutes at the half. That way, if we need him to go at least 40, we're comfortable with that. He'll play the entire third, come out and start the fourth on the bench, normally stays there. It all depends. But LeBron James tonight will be LeBron. And I think the thing is, Skip, is that he doesn't get caught up into that. He stays locked in. He knows what Jimmy did. He knows what everybody is saying, and now all of a sudden, Jimmy had this historic night on LeBron and yada, 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 only 3 men. I get all that. But LeBron understands what his teams needs, how they need him to go about doing it, because he still needs to be the quarterback. He doesn't need to be Lamar Jackson to rush for 150. He needs to be the quarterback. And if that requires to run for 30 yards and pass for 300, that's what he'll do. If it requires for him to be Lamar Jackson, run for 200 and pass for 50, he'll do that also. He knows the pulse. He knows what he needs to do. He will do that, and they will win.
I disagree with your take on this. I think this is the night LeBron needs to play angry. And I always tell you, the LeBron I love the most is the angry LeBron when he has something to prove. And he comes out and takes the game over immediately. And I don't mind it if he's front running and biceps flexing. That's the guy who, if it's real, if it's not just showboating, if it's from the heart anger, that's when he is a terror. And I think he could terrorize the Heat if he takes this personally, and I think he should take it personally. And again, it boiled down to Game 3 was him versus Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy won. Every way, shape, and form, Jimmy beat him. So now he should say, okay, I take the challenge, I come out, I attack. I'm in attack mode from the start.
He'll be in attack mode, and for the most part, he'll be in attack mode, Skip. But that's not him. He's not like, well, Jimmy got me, let me get Jimmy back. Some guys are like that. Some guys, if you look at Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray, in their series, Skip, it was basically, okay, you just got me, I'm coming right back at you. Oh, you hit a three? Well, I'm going to hit a three. You go into the basket, but that's not Bron. Bron has never played like that.
I don't know. I've seen him play angry, get mad at somebody in the stands, and just go off on the other team.
Well, he gonna go off.
You know, where I don't love LeBron is when he's the benign bully, where he's bullying the other team, but it's not really his nature. And all of a sudden, Jimmy said, I will bully the bully. He fought fire with fire, and LeBron folded in the fourth quarter. So it's time.
It's time.
You don't want this to be 2-2 with Bam coming back.
It doesn't matter. Actually, I would like to see Bam back. I would like to see Bam because that plays.
You fear Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, because Bam plays to our strength. Bam plays to what we do really well.
So are you telling me AD has no chance against Kelly Olynyk?
No, you would see, that's not what I said. I said with Bam on the court, it plays to the Lakers' strength. Dwight Howard gets to stay on the court. He does not have to worry about a three-point shooter. He just has to worry about Bam picking and rolling to the basket, where Kelly Olynyk and Myles Leonard can pick and pop. That's not what Bam is. No. So Bam plays to what the Lakers do really well. I'm not concerned. Tomorrow I'll come out here and I'll feel a lot better tomorrow than I felt on Monday.
So are you predicting a Jimmy Butler-esque game for LeBron? Could he go 40, 11, and 13?
Hold on. You do realize my guy got more triple-doubles in the finals than anybody else in NBA history. And you talk about
he's played so many finals.
Oh, okay, then. So you were talking about a Jimmy Butler type of game.
He just put up the greatest triple-double, the 40.
We've already done that.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Skip, you can't be...
You lost. You lost by 14 when you done that.
But did we do it?
Yep.
Okay, we did.
You did it, and you lost.
So that's like saying, oh, is someone there going to be an Edmund Hillary, such as... Edmund Hillary already went to the mountaintop first. He went there first. So you don't get to claim a Jimmy Butler type game when we did it before he did.
LeBron was climbing the mountain and slipped and fell.
Okay.
Well, he did against Golden State.
You talking real out of pocket right now, Skip, baby.
No,
I want you to have that
right in pocket.
No. I
want to see a Jimmy Butler done on Jimmy Butler. I want to see LeBron at his greatest. That would be a legacy game. That would be one you could get away with bragging about because it would be braggable.
Oh, so in other words, you mean to tell me like the game 5 and 6 that he had at Golden State? Golden State, one in Golden State and one in back in Cleveland when he went 41, 16, and 8. And went 41, 12, and 9. One of those games.
You mean the one where Draymond was suspended?
Was he suspended in Game 6?
Game 5.
What about Game 7 when he went triple-dub?
You mean when Kyrie hit the winning shot?
Hold on. But you ain't gonna talk about it. Hold on. Did you know, you talk about this the first time LeBron James did what Jimmy Butler did in one game for an entire series. He led everybody, both teams, points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. My guy did that.
He averaged 40 a game? I don't remember that.
Oh, he was as easy as 27, 10, and 9.
Really? Had one of those Jason Kidd.
Oh, don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. You saw a game. What was it? You talk about the shot. I talk about the block.
Jimmy Butler just gave us the greatest 40-point triple-double ever. You know it, and I know it. He outdid LeBron in every way, shape, and form, and he even guarded him.
Skip, I'm not debating that. You
need to get even. You need to make this right.
Let me tell you how you get even. You win. That's how you get even.
Okay.
You win. That's what we're going to do.
It's a mismatch. You should be able to victory parade over them. That's what you should do.
We're going to play the game that we play is that we play through AD. If you look at, Skip, when LeBron went off, they still played through AD. Is that when AD got going, now all of a sudden they try to get the ball and they got creases. LeBron James goes right to the rim. We good.
So are you saying AD puts up bigger numbers than LeBron tonight?
I think so.
Do you really?
I do.
So you're saying LeBron needs that much help against Jimmy Butler. He needs his co-star to be the star.
Anthony Davis led the Lakers in scoring this year for a reason.
Yep.
For the most part, Anthony Davis had led them in playoff scoring. So now you want them to deviate to from what got them there. What got them the #1 seed, what got them to this point, just deviate that so LeBron can get back at Jimmy Butler. We don't play into your hand. We play to our strengths. And our strength is starting out by going to Anthony Davis. And we will continue to do that.
And for once, I have far more faith in your man, LeBron James, than you do, because I believe this will be the King's night. I think he will rise, shine, and get some revenge on Jimmy Butler.
Even though it's the King's night, they still will play through Anthony Davis. It's okay,
Really?
yes.
So you're saying it's Anthony's team now?
You Skip, I don't get all that. His team is Genie Bus. It's
I think
the
you
bus
just
that
did.
All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we win. That's what's most important. See what you try to do at first, we weren't going to even get here. And then it was going to be Portland going to beat you, and Houston going to beat you, and the Clippers, which they didn't make it, and the Nuggets. And now what you do?
Always the Clippers.
Now whose team? Now
always the
whose
Clippers
team?
from first.
It's not whose team. And now it's, well, he ain't going to win the Finals MVP. Skip, we passed that.
Well, you know what? If you're right about AD having the big night tonight, then AD's going to win Finals MVP.
And so if AD win Finals MVP, what does that mean? What does that mean for LeBron?
Hey.
What does that mean for LeBron?
Hey, Rich and Maverick are not going to like you saying that on national TV. It is critical that LeBron wins this MVP.
It's not critical.
He needs a career achievement. He needs to say, I'm the first player ever to win Finals MVP for 3 teams.
Let me ask you a question. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that in the Dallas Mavericks series, the Heat win, but D Wade is the Finals MVP. We're looking at LeBron totally different, because you said he melted down.
I didn't say it. Everybody saw it.
I know. So if LeBron would have won that series, regardless if he's the MVP or not, we're looking at that situation totally different, right? So it does not matter.
That's not what happened.
Exactly. So as long as the Lakers win, it does not matter. That's what you try to see. What y'all try to do is, because you're running out of issues. Because he wasn't supposed to be the #1 seed. Remember the Clippers. Because as a matter of fact, they had the Golden State Warriors was supposed to finish 2 games behind the Lakers at 49 wins. They said the Clippers, they didn't even have the Lakers getting to the finals. The Nuggets was going to be the #1 seed. Clippers #2.
Yep.
Utah, Houston.
The point here is, in the end, LeBron is trying to pull off the ultimate chase down block of the true GOAT, the real GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who is uncatchable. So the only way you can... The only way you can make any case is you need these accolades. You need to be the first man to win 3.
Hold on. Isn't winning a championship an accolade?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've lost 6 of them.
Okay.
You're 3 and 6.
We're about to be 4.
You don't have many accolades.
We're about to be 4 and 6.
Yep, you should be.
In 3 different locations.
Yep. Okay. Is that all you got?
3 different locations.
6 losses?
Skip Bayless, the way I look at it like this, you could have one house at 50,000 square feet, or you could have 3 of them at 20,000 each. Which one you want? One in the south of France, one in Greece.
All 1-bedroom apartments?
Oh, no, James, all over the world.
Yep.
You see, you just picked up the William Bell's house, the creator of Young and the Restless and Bold and Beautiful. Yeah, we just buying up real estate around here. Buying it up.
You gonna live in Brentwood, or you gonna live in Beverly Hills?
Ain't no telling.
No telling.
Oh, okay.
Ain't no telling. We going out to Malibu next.
Are you?
Malibu.
Okay.
Oh, must be nice, Shannon. You're making it sound pretty good.
Just picking up property all across Cali.
Well, I hope you don't have to go to Malibu to hide.
We don't want that. We do not want that.
No mercy.
Last night's Chiefs-Patriots game started as a defensive slugfest before the touchdowns really started coming in the second half. Patrick Mahomes threw 2 TD passes in a 7-minute span in the second half, and New England had to turn to 3rd-string QB Jarrett Stidham to get them on the board after Brian Hoyer missed several chances in the red zone. However, the man Bill Belichick calls Stid was picked off midway through the 4th quarter, and Tyrann Mathieu scored on a pick 6 to make the final score 26-10. So, Shannon, would the Patriots have won with Cam Newton?
Skip, it's always hard to say that, but I think they definitely would have had a chance, because I believe Brian Hoyer cost them 6, at the bare minimum, 6 points, Skip. Skip, how do you not know? You get sacked, and then he jumped up calling timeout. Bro, you used the last one. That cost him 3 points, Skip. And then your script sack, you let Taco Trump. Oh, Taco. That's old Taco Trump. He unloaded the taco truck.
We miss him.
I bet y'all.
It used to be Taco Sunday in Dallas, thanks to Taco Chart. Where has he been? Oh, we dumped him.
Y'all dumped him.
Now we could use him.
You can use him. You definitely could use him. Skip. And so that's 6 points right there. Julian Edelman gave up another 7 points on the pick six. But Skip, I don't know if you noticed this, and a lot of people at home won't notice it, but I notice it. He's starting to flinch. He's been involved in so many collisions. He caught a 4th down last night, and he flinched because he thought the guy was going to get him. So he's starting to flinch, and he dropped the pass early in the game, and the guy ended up catching it on the carom. I'm like, Jules, come on, bro. But he's starting to expect collisions, and it's starting to affect his ability to catch the football cleanly. So that's 6 points. You gave up 13. The defense played outstanding. Coach Belichick did a great thing. He said, you know what? In order to beat Mahomes, we need to possess the football, run it. They ran the football really well. They one of the better running teams in all of football. Possess the football, shorten the game, Skip. I'm gonna minimize Mahomes, boy. He didn't play all that man coverage. You played a lot of zone. Rush 3, drop 8. Rush 4, drop 7. Had him Mahomes fooled for the better part of at least the first 2.5 quarters, and then Mahomes started to figure out, like, oh, you're going to drop all these guys 30 yards deep. I'm just going to take off running on you and pick it up first down with his feet. So, Skip, I hate saying this, but I believe they would have. I believe Cam them would have pulled the upset, considering how New England played last night. Now maybe Skip, because Cam wasn't there, they let their guard down. Maybe they would have. Spagnuolo would have called the game differently. Maybe they would have done some things differently, because now you get into a battle that's going back and forth. But I don't think they were ever really concerned about Brian Hoyer or when Steeds came in, them winning that ball game. But Skip, I will say this. To think that Coach Belichick was going to go into a regular season with Steed and Brian Hoyer as his starters.
We talked about it for months. And it sounded like it was Steed. And the way he handled it last night, if there were no Cam going for the rest of the year, I think it would be Steed going forward, right? Yes.
So for me, Skip, I do. I mean, they were combined 20 of 37, 1 touchdown, 1 TD pass, and 4 turnovers. Can't turn the football up. When you're so challenged to score the football, Skip, you can't turn it over. You can't give them points on your possessions, and you cannot turn the football over against that team because the offense is so explosive, even though it didn't look that way last night.
Interesting. So, I tried to tell you late last week and then again yesterday, I would have given Cam a great shot at winning this game. I told you twice that. They definitely would have covered, I believe, with Cam, because he would have kept them right in the game. This one got away from them. It wound up 26-10. And yet, my takeaway from this game was your homeboy wasn't all that he was cracked up to be.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, I'm just telling you, I sit back and I watch him night after night, game after game, and he'll have spectacular and then ho-hum by his standards. The one at Chargers was pretty ho-hum. It went all the way to overtime, and they were down early in the fourth quarter, what, 17-9?
You do realize, Skip,
interesting,
that this man has not lost in September in his career. You do realize that, right?
You do realize last night he had a QBR of 60, which is not that much above average. It was his worst of the year. And if you recall, in the Super Bowl, he had a 64, which wasn't all that much above average.
Where did he have that 64 at? What game was that he had that 64 in?
They were down in the Super Bowl 20-10 late third quarter, and he threw a bad interception. And they were still down 20-10 early in the fourth quarter, and he threw another even worse interception. And then he got away with a 3rd and 15 throw with a rusher right in his face, in which he sort of no-looked, flung it into the left flat. And it was just basically a jump ball. It was a punt, and Tyreek had to wave his hand and come back and fair catch it. And he got away with that, and that broke the Super Bowl open and allowed them to win it. And if he hadn't been up against Jimmy Garoppolo, or if he hadn't been up against last night Brian Hoyer, he was going to lose the Super Bowl and lose last night. That's what I believe.
So he threw it.
So I don't know about this zero-ballot Hall of Famer who is Patrick Mahomes.
He's done. There. Slam dunk.
He's there. It's in.
Yeah.
Says Hall of Famer Shannon.
Yeah, he's there.
You've already had an early, a silent vote?
No.
Secret vote?
No, actually, we don't.
Yeah.
A lot of the players, we don't have a vote. But Skip, But you just keep harping back and say, well, Mahomes threw an interception. But I thought the mark of a great quarterback is to overcome it. Because I know a guy that threw a pick six early on Sunday. He threw his second one of the season.
And he overcame it like gangbusters.
Thank you. So hold
he
on.
came from 24-7 down and one going away.
Against the Chargers. The Chargers.
The Chargers, who had done a number on my homeboy.
No. They lost to my homeboy.
Yeah, well, they'd done a number on him.
And they didn't get no pick sixes.
He was struggling.
And they were 100% healthy.
And then he got away with the play. Your homeboy did.
What play?
It was 6:22 left in the second quarter, and it's 3rd and 4 at the Kansas City 42, and he drops back to pass, and he's a little shaky, and he's looking, and the ball, wait a second, it's up in the air. Oh, it's intercepted by the Calhoun kid for the Patriots. It's intercepted. What? Wait, there's a whistle?
Yes,
Wait,
you heard it.
Tony Corrente, the head ref, he blew his whistle. He said it was in the grass.
Yes.
How could you say that's in the grass?
If that was Tom Brady, you want him to say that.
Wait, that's a turnover.
No.
And Belichick, you can't challenge it because the whistle blew.
Right.
There's no challenge to be had.
He got it.
And not only is this ball intercepted by Calhoun, he's off to the races. He's going to run about. I don't know if he could score because he's a defensive lineman, but again, he's going to go a little ways with it, and maybe it's going to be just a gimme touchdown for the Patriots. Brian Hoyer had his moments. He moved the ball pretty well up and down the field. He just made some terrible mistakes.
The mistakes that you can't make.
I agree, especially on the road in this kind of game. That is a turnover. That was not in the grasp. You know it, and I know it should have been a big turnover for my homeboy.
Yep.
And then he might have been the lowercase goat of the game, as in blamed for the game.
The Patriots, if they never get another call, their dynasty started on a blown call. If they never get another call in the rest of their franchise history, they should never complain about a call.
Really? Oh, so that did it. One call back in, 2001? So that's 19 years ago, and that should do them in?
Like the Rams. How the Rams going to complain about a pass interference call that goes against them when the week before they had just got one that helped save the game?
Every game is a new separate entity. Okay. So in this game, that changed the game because it was only 6-3. And by the way, the score stayed 6-3 all the way until almost the end of the third quarter. We almost went 3 quarters with my homeboy scoring 6 points, 2 field goals against Belichick.
If you look at the games in which he hasn't scored a touchdown at the half, all 3 of them has come against Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick is arguably the greatest defensive mind that we've seen in this league. And he has a great game plan, and guys execute that game plan. But somehow, that guy, that he can crack that code eventually.
Really? Well, then, how did Russell Wilson crack the code up at Seattle the week before, 2 weeks before, actually? Remember, he went 21 or 28 for 288 and 5 touchdowns against Belichick's defense. How did he do that?
Well,
does that mean he's better than my homeboy?
Stop it.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, but let that figure. I mean, the guy set the bar so high that 19 or 29 for 236 and 2 tubs with no interceptions is blah.
And 1 big turnover that got erased.
No, it was not a turnover.
By a quick whistle.
No, it was not. Skip, you
premature.
Know Skip, all the rules that they've altered to protect the quarterback. Now you want them to, because it's my homeboy, and you want them to let people get 1-2 extra shots. And that's what Tony Corrente explained, is that once the guy's in the grass, we're going to protect him. We're not going to let defenders come in and get that extra 1 to 2 shots on him. Because if Tom Brady, they'd have blew it yesterday, on Sunday.
Interesting. So it sounds like my homeboy, he owns Baltimore. We know that because he
owns New England now.
Lit them up.
Owns New England too.
Well, does he? It seems like it's the other way around.
Last 2 games, who won?
Yeah. Well, who should have won? Brian Hoyer instead.
And hold on. He hung an L on your boy before he got up out of town too, remember?
Who's that?
You know who.
I don't know.
Before he left town in Foxborough.
Who's that?
You know who it is.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
All I know is that Tom Brady, when it really mattered in the AFC Championship game, he goes into that very stadium we were watching last night and had 3 straight 3rd and 10s and converted all 3 in overtime.
Was Mahomes on the field?
In overtime.
Was Mahomes on the field?
I've never seen anything like that.
Was Mahomes on the field?
That was an achievement almost equal to Jimmy Butler's in Game 3.
Look at it. Look at my homeboy. And he got the crowd hype. He scrambled for 25. He got the crowd hype last night.
I also tweeted about this, and you validated my tweet because you said what I said all last year about Julian Edelman. Broken down, beat up shell of self, losing confidence. Julian Edelman led the league in drops last year, and he's off to the races this year with 2 more, and the second one was just horrendous because it goes right through his hands, right into Honey Badger's hands. And it's off to the races for Honey Badger. Oh, thank you very much. Merry Christmas early to you, too. Thank you. Julian, that one you got to catch. That's where you're losing all your confidence, all your faith in yourself. Well, I told you that was Tom Brady's go-to receiver last year. What do you think is going to happen if that guy's your go-to? Right?
The thing is, Skip, is that he's starting to see, it's one thing to feel and know where they're there, but he's starting to see them. And so that, Honey Badger's off. There's no reason.
There's no reason.
There's no reason for him
to
flinch or anything.
No threat whatsoever. So the 2 key receivers down the stretch last year were Julian Edelman, who got 6 balls thrown to him and caught 3 last night for 35 yards, and N'Keal Harry, who came back at midseason last year as a rookie. Last night he had 6 targets, caught 3 balls for a grand total of 21 yards. That's all that Brady had to work with.
And Demir Bird had 10 targets. But I'm not surprised that James White had 8 targets because they throw to the back. They need a tight end, but so I'm not surprised that James White was so heavily targeted. That was their game plan. That's like a long handoff for them to throw in the ball. They're a big screen team. But 35 rushes, 185 yards, you can win with that. But the thing is, you got to pay it off at the end. And Brian Hoyer instead didn't pay it off at the end.
So Tampa Bay is now 3-1, and Belichick is now 2-2. Thank you very much.
Well,
here we go.
Belichick, Cam, he'd had Cam. That might have been 3-1 too.
So I gave you a chance yesterday, and you almost took it. And you said you wanted to sleep on it. Would you like to rescind the bet? I will take, it's a 5 cases of Diet Mountain Dew bet, and I will take 2 if you want to just call the bet off right now. You can save yourself 3 cases.
Okay, I'll do it because I don't know when Cam is coming back.
Really?
Yeah, Cam might be. But they might be able to, they might be able to beat the Broncos. I don't know. We got a win last week. So
now you're choking again.
I will let it slide.
You're going to let it slide? You did it, but then you undid it.
I will let it slide. I will let it slide. I will go ahead and take these 2 cases.
Okay.
Because I will get them back.
Oh, wait. You are going to take, you're going to take my offer?
Yeah, I'm taking your offer.
Oh, so we're done with this bet.
We're done with this
Thank you. I won early.
I will get it back.
Diet Dew, the breakfast.
After I get these cases from this NBA Finals.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Done. Thank you.
Well, you know who else, Shannon, you probably want to talk about? Aaron Rodgers. Because he is continuing to do Aaron Rodgers things this season. While his top 2 receivers, Devontae Adams and Allen Lazard, both missed the game last night, it didn't stop Rodgers from tossing 4 touchdown passes in the Packers' 30-16 victory over the Falcons. Green Bay is now a perfect 4-0 this season and a full game clear of Chicago for first place in the NFC North. Now, Shannon, I want to start with you and ask you about Aaron Rodgers and a letter grade. And just for the record, guys, the fact that I'm wearing green, this is embarrassing to me. I just want to put it out there. But give me a letter grade for Aaron.
Hey, Skip, he was in complete control of the ball game. Complete control. Oh, he can still skip the throws that he's making. He stepped in the one up to the rail to Jamal Williams. I think that's the Williams kid, the running back. He's doing this with no Devontae, no Lazard, Valdez Scantling. Robert Todd. Come on, man. Who is this kid? Where did tight end coming from? Shepard. Falcons are bad. I don't know what Mr. Blank waiting on. Skip, I ain't calling for nobody's job, but it's not going to get better in Atlanta under Dan Quinn. Skip, it's over. It was over once they lost 28-3. Skip, it was over. There was no coming back from that. You can lose the Super Bowl and overcome that. You're not losing that game like that and overcoming that. Some adversity, Skip, is just too overwhelming, and you never overcome it. It's time to move on. Skip, Atlanta was trying to Skip, this is how bad it is for them defensively. Skip, they tried to tackle the man. The man falls down, gets up, and still catches it. They go for it on 4th down. Aaron Rodgers hits a guy that gets 17. He has 2 guys wide open for touchdown.
Since you brought that up, could we see that play? I just want to demonstrate what you're talking about, please. Here it is. This is a 4th down play late in this.
This 4th and 2.
4th and 2. Oh, you're open, but so is everybody on the field open. Everybody, and they're all waving for the football. Wait, Wait, you're open, and look across the field. You're open, and you're open, and he throws it underneath. Way to go. That's Atlanta.
That's Atlanta. But to be fair, Skip, when you got backups, and their backups are playing, and in the practice squad guys that back up to the backups, that back up the starter is playing, Skip, what do you think you're going to get? I mean, they're signing guys as of Sunday, as of Saturday. You got to sign guys because you've been besieged by injuries. But it is what it is. Aaron Rodgers, that's not Aaron Rodgers' fault. And even though he's like, you know what? Aaron Rodgers like, it's not my fault you beat up, so I'm going to take advantage of it. And he took full advantage of it, Skip. 97 QBR good?
Yeah, very good.
27 to 33, 327, 4 tubs. Is that good? So now he has 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 70% completion. He's number 1 in QBR. If you don't mind me asking, Skip, can you tell me down in Tampa Bay, where is he ranked in QBR?
This is about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, well, if it's about Aaron Rodgers, he said he's sending a message. I believe the two best teams right now in the NFC, Green Bay and Seattle. He's like, Russ, I know you haven't won an MVP and you're playing great, but we're going to just hold off. We're going to play this thing out. 13-0. 13-0. Is that good, Skip?
And your grade is for last night?
A.
A?
A.
And the degree of difficulty was what? Z?
You got to stick the landing, though. So sometimes, Skip, it's not about, being Simone Biles and trying all this crazy stuff. Sometimes you just got to stick the landing. You know what I'm up against. I need a 9.3. So I don't got to get crazy. Just stick the landing, and the Bulgarian judge going to give me a 10.
Okay, it is my turn to give your man Aaron Rodgers a letter grade, and what I'm going to do is revert to what happened my senior year at Vanderbilt when they allowed us to take one course, what they called pass-fail. And you could even take the course across the street at our little sister school, Peabody College. So a few of us as seniors did. We took human geography across the street at Peabody, and it was the only course in my 4 years there that I kind of mailed it in. I didn't work that hard at it. We just had fun doing it, and we didn't take it very seriously because all you have to do is pass the course.
Right.
You have to get above I think it was just above an F. I don't know. That's what I consider. Maybe it was a C or better.
Well, I took a lot of them classes.
Okay. Did you? Okay. So I did pass human geography, and I will give you a P for pass last night.
No.
That's all you get.
No.
He passed because that's all he did was pass. He completed 27 passes against the 31st. It's the worst pass defense in pro football, but they're 31st in points allowed going into the game. They'd allowed 36 a game, which is only 1 point short of my Dallas Cowboys, who are a complete and utter disaster. So they allowed 36 going in, and Aaron put up 30. Is that good? It's not great. They're 31st in yards allowed at 463, and he put up 403. Is that great? It's just okay. You probably should have put up 600.
Well, Skip, he probably would have had Matt Ryan had not had a 20-play, like a 13-minute drive.
So what did my man Dak Prescott do against these Atlanta Falcons? He completed 34 passes for 450 yards, so 27 by Aaron for 327.
Yeah.
Not that impressive.
Skip, my man had to lead.
450. Come on.
Aaron had to lead. Your guy was down by 19 at one point, down by 16. Aaron had to lead. Can you imagine if the game was back and forth? Aaron might have threw for 600.
Can you imagine what Atlanta would have been if they had their two starting safeties, Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal? They're both gone. A.J. Terrell, starting corner, is gone. Then that Casey kid got carted off with an Achilles injury last night. God bless him. I'm knocking on wood for him. And I can go on that Jalen Hawkins, the backup to the backup safety was in, and he got concussed or something. I don't know. It was bad. He's wobbling to the locker room.
It was bad.
This is horrendous. I have no idea who finished the game in the secondary for the Falcons. So that's why we saw that play, the 4th and 2 play, where everybody is open. It is shooting fish in a barrel for Aaron Rodgers up in Green Bay. It's like, do you want to hit him or him? What do you want to do? And look what he did. He threw 8 balls to his backup running back, Jamal Williams, and he caught all 8 of them.
Yep.
He threw 6 balls to Tanyan, who's becoming a pretty good pass-catching tight end. I kind of like the way he moves, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. He's Kittle's best buddy, an off-season workout warrior, and he caught all 6 of his balls, and then my little man Aaron Jones, he caught all 5 of his balls for.
But you talk about that, this Aaron Jones-led team. Yeah. This has always been Aaron Rodgers' team.
No, it's last year's MVP was the other Aaron.
First of all,
Jones.
Skip, the only person that says that and believes that their quarterback is not the most valuable are you and Jerry. Because everybody else will pay their quarterback. Jerry won't pay his.
Oh,
but
really?
he paid a running back $15 million. You said is not the offense shouldn't run through him.
Yep.
It should run through Dak.
And you said Dak deserves $40+ million, and he should be 0-4 right now. Right?
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody that last year, Aaron Rodgers started off hot, and then he just really faded. He, in Pro Football Focus at the end of the year, ranked him the 9th best quarterback, but also had him from week 8 onwards, they ranked him 17th. So the season is just getting started here. And last year, he finished with his worst QBR of his career, which ranked 18th in the league. And he finished with a completion percentage of only 62%, which ranked 21st.
But think about this here, Skip. Since you're talking about a cooling off at the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken, the Patriots started off 8-0 and somehow finished the season.
I thought we were talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Because you and others have said his demise.
Well, his team screamed about his demise because they traded up from 30th in the first round to 26th to take Jordan Love as a quarterback, and I don't think they want to convert him to wideout. I think they actually want him to replace Aaron Rodgers.
As a matter of fact, I haven't even heard nobody mention Jordan Love. Have you? I hadn't mentioned nobody mention Jordan
All
or
I know
Love.
is they took him, and obviously they had designs on replacing Aaron
As a matter
Rodgers.
of fact, I heard somebody mention Buddy Love from the Nutty Professor. You like Nutty Professor?
I do.
But, Skip, I mean, a 97 QBR, he has a 92 QBR.
Against that team, and you're going to gloat about it? You actually opened this show. You had the audacity to gloat about that against a team that you just destroyed.
How about this here? Did Dak have a 97 QBR against him?
No, he had a high one.
No, but was it 97?
No, it wasn't 97. But he threw for 450 versus 327.
And guess what he threw for 502? Called an L. He should be 0-4.
I just said that.
My guy.
And you said he deserves $42 million.
And my guy has yet to taste defeat. And my guy's on the bye week. So they're going to get these guys back. They're going to get Devontae back.
Yep.
Now, I don't know. Lazard had a core muscle.
No, it was a core. It was
he had core. Devontae,
he had
surgery.
Yeah.
So he's going to probably be out another 6 weeks. But Aaron, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We 5-0 without Devontae.
Yeah. Huh.
Aaron Rodgers 5-0. How many guys can say without their number 1 receiver, they're 5-0?
You know, if you played the Falcons every week from here on, I believe you'd win every game.
No. They're not 5-0 against the Falcons without Devontae Adams. They're 5-0 against whomever they play without Devontae.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Well, it seems like we got a long season here, and that Aaron's recent history over the last 4 years has been start fast and then fade down the stretch.
This is what we do know.
Interesting.
We do know this. The top 2 quarterbacks right now in the NFC, by any metrics, by any variable you want to use, is Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. That's fact. Now, you want to look at it, talk about all the stuff you want to talk about in Tampa Bay, but all I know is it's Pick Six City, baby. Pick Six City.
Really?
Hello? Yes, I'd like to have a reservation for 6 in the end zone. Yes, Tom will be joining me.
No, Tom will not be.
Yes, he will.
Tom will not chase down a pick 6.
I mean, Jack Rabbit got it. I mean, he just throwing. Skip, does he know that he's not supposed to throw it to the guy on the other team?
No, he's not supposed to throw it to Justin Watson.
Oh, so now you blame it, Justin Watson.
Both are to Justin Watson. He's an Ivy Leaguer. What do you expect?
Whoa. I'm trying to figure out how is it his fault that Tom Brady is late and inside on the throw. I run the speed out. Put the ball out in front of me.
You have to go get it.
How? You throwing it back inside where the DB's at. DB doesn't even get out his back pedal.
And how many touchdown passes did he throw against the Chargers defense on Sunday, coming from behind? 5. Count them, 5. Tom should have run. He should have run to the sideline at the end of the game going,
Oh, did you see how, Skip, did you see Aaron last night? He got in front of the camera and flexed on him. I said, hit him right.
Against the Falcons.
Stop.
The Falcons.
Stop.
You just said Dan Quinn should be fired.
Yeah, well, they're not very
You
good.
just validated they're down to their third string DVs.
Fourth.
But
that's what you, Skip. That's what you do.
Oh.
When someone is depleted like that, you don't see, because if the Packers had won this game by, say, like 3 points or a touchdown, guess what Dan Quinn's gonna say? Guys, we besieged by injuries, but I love the way you fought. He can't go in there and sell that. That was a royal butt kicking.
Oh, wow.
And we got more for you, too.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Don't the Packers play Tampa Bay?
Yep.
Ah!
You might have a chance to get some of your cases back.
I'm gonna get it back.
It'd be at least a 2-case bet.
Hey, bare minimum. See, I got you last week.
Yeah.
Oh, Dallas, I tell you one. Cause I know you're gonna be giddy on that one.
Yep.
Oh, then this come Friday, you feeling real good about yourself. I want another one.
I was true to my team, and I told you it was going to be the last time. So I put my due where my mouth was and my heart was.
I know.
And I lost.
I know.
And now we have to talk about them again.
I love it. I love it, Skip.
So we're going to bet on that one? You already want to bet on it? Packers, Bucks? You guys want to?
Oh, yeah, we already got 2 cases on that.
Yep.
It'll probably be up to like 3 or 4 by the time it rolls
We
right.
got a ways to go until that.
It's later in the season?
I forget. They're
When they
at
play?
Chicago Thursday. Then I don't know.
October 18th. So
not that far away.
Hold on.
got a
Tampa's at
little
Chicago?
time.
Oh, Nicky Foles? Oh, darling Nicky. You
got it?
You know what happened last time he got with old Tom?
did you say Nikki?
Oh, darling Nicky.
That's what we're doing? Okay.
No mercy.
Well, Cowboys fans may think the sky is falling after the team's 1-3 start. COO Stephen Jones is offering a more optimistic viewpoint. Jerry's son told a local radio show that, quote, I just think we're not as far away as it seems, but we do have a lot of work to do. We really believe we've got a great head coach, great staff, and a great group of players that will get the job done. Not as far away as it seems. Shannon, is there any truth to this?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. The only thing they're not far away from is last place in the terrible NFC East. That's the only thing they're not far away from. And actually, they should be tied in last with the Giants because they should be 0-4 also. Skip, he's delusional. This is typical delusional Cowboy talk. Because what he's talking about, Skip, is that offensively, and Jerry has always been a guy, Skip, because the bells and whistles, high-flying offense. That's why he loved Tony Romo, the improvisational, spinning out of sacks and throwing touchdowns. Jerry loves that. Skip, does he realize how historically bad his defense is? And because his offense, yes, they're prolific. But what happens when their offense doesn't score? Well, let me tell you, Stephen Jones, just in case you weren't paying attention. The score was tied 14-14. Your offense went 5 straight possessions, and they didn't score a point. The next time they scored a touchdowns, guess what the score was? It was 41-14 when you got your next one, so it ended up being 41-21. That's where you was, 41-22, because I think they went for 2.
Yep.
That's where you was, Stephen. Your offense, the reason why it puts so much pressure on your offense, Skip, is because their defense can't stop anybody. So as great as your offense is, if you go 2 possessions without scoring, when you get the ball back, Skip, you probably down 10 at the bare minimum. That's a hard way to play the game, knowing that, man, if we don't score every time we touch the ball, we're probably going to lose because our defense can't stop anybody. Where's the defense? Does Jerry realize, Skip, when they were winning these Super Bowls, does Jerry realize how good his defenses were? Dave Wanstead had those guys playing out of their minds. There's a reason why you traded for Charles Haley, because you needed defense. There's a reason why you would have made Deion Sanders the high-play cornerback in football. You needed defense. So what Jerry did, Skip, he needed defense. I guess C.D. Lamb was there. Skip, offense wasn't their problem last year. They were, what, number 1 or number 2 in total offense last year. They were terrible in defense, and they're even worse this year. So, Stephen, I don't know what you're close to. Not far away from. But if you think you're not far away from contending for a Super Bowl, Skip, you're not beating Green Bay. You're not beating New Orleans. You're not beating Seattle. Already done beat the brakes off you. And right now, you're not going to beat Tampa. So, yeah, I'm going to make Skip. That division is terrible. Somebody's coming up out of that division. So there's no doubt about that. Somebody's coming up out of that division. But Stephen Jones, you're further away than you actually think. It's not like the rear view. It's not like the mirror, Skip. Objects are closer than they appear.
Yeah.
Actually, you're not closer than you think.
So, to your point, the only reason either Stephen or Jerry Jones can get away with making this case to their fans is because they still reside in what could turn out to be the worst division in the history of pro football.
You might be right here.
It just might turn out that bad. Jerry and Stephen are both super salesmen who will get away with selling whatever they can get away with selling their fandom. Jerry has always been about box office over wins,
right?
About entertainment over playoff games. Like it's all about the entertainment value that he gives to his fans. And right now he has a dream of his worst nightmare because he's got it all. He's got the most explosive offense in pro football, and it ain't even close. And he could be 0-4.
Right.
So it's all about, it's all icing and no cake. It's all sizzle and no steak, right?
Yep.
So you can still get away with trying to sell that because you can also dangle the carrot at the end of the line saying, we might just steal the East because it's still stealable.
Right.
We're not out yet,
No.
right?
Right.
Okay. So he also knows that they get to play the cellar dweller in the division this Sunday at home.
Right.
The Giants are 0-4, and the Cowboys are almost a double-digit favorite over the New York Football Giants, now coordinated on offense by old 8-8 Jason Garrett. Okay, I'm going to remind everybody in Cowboy Nation, you better be careful what you wish for here, because the 0-4 Giants, if anybody looked harder at what happened in their stadium on Sunday, the Rams were there. Did you notice what the final score was? Did you notice it was only 17-9 Rams? Do you know that the Rams led only 10-9 early in the fourth quarter?
Right.
Do you realize the Giants actually played them pretty much straight up the whole game? It took, what's his name, Cooper Kupp. He got loose for a 55-yard touchdown that broke it open late in the game to make it 17-9. But I look at what happened at the end of the game. Daniel Jones got them down to 2nd and 5 at the Rams' 18-yard line with 52 seconds left. He's throwing into the end zone, and it's still a one-score game.
Right.
You're going to have to go for 2 to tie, obviously, but he threw an interception.
Right.
Okay, but that's how close they came to upsetting the heavily favored Rams. So what did they do in that game? Do you realize the Giants ran for 136 yards by committee? It was Gallman and Daniel Jones ran for 40. He can run. He can move. And they got Devontae Freeman now, and he chipped in with 33 yards. So by committee, they had 136 yards rushing. My team at home just gave up 307.
3 Bills.
307 to Cleveland, and Nick Chubb, God bless him, I'm knocking on wood for him, he got hurt early in the game. Or they might have had 400, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what do you think the Giants might do? Jason Garrett's not a fool. He'll go in there and try to shorten the game. Run, because you should be able to run like mad. You should be able to get 2 Bills, even as the Giants, and they don't even have Saquon, but they still have a credible stable of backs and a pretty good offensive line. And they're going up against what Pro Football Focus calls the worst defense in the NFL, Dallas's defense. By the way, Pro Football Focus only ranks my offense 11th because it goes all over. It's here, there, and everywhere, but it will self-destruct.
Right.
And it's always playing from behind, so it's highly overrated because, as you always say, defenses back off and say, okay, we'll give you that and that. We just don't want to get nothing cheap deep, right?
Correct.
Okay? So it's overrated, empty calorie sort of stats that they're piling up, and Pro Football Focus is saying, nope, we're not buying this. You're the 11th best offense.
Right.
Well, worst defense, 11th best offense, and they have the worst turnover differential in pro football. What's going to happen? You're just a bad football team.
You are.
They're -7 in turnovers because the defense will not take the ball away.
Correct.
They have 2 takeaways and 9 giveaways.
So with all that you just said, okay, they just gave up. They're the last in scoring defense. They're last in rush defense. Just gave up 300 yards rushing. They have 2 takeaways in 4 games, and you talk about you're close.
Yeah, and seriously, I'm not just saying this. Do I really trust they're going to beat the Giants on Sunday? I don't, because what have they shown me? What proof what evidence do I have they can beat the Giants?
Right.
The Giants came close to upsetting the Rams.
Right.
The Rams proved on opening night they're better than the Cowboys.
Right.
Right? So what proof do I have? That they did a number on Jared Goff. They held him to 200 yards passing. Their defense, the Giants' defense, is ranked middle of the pack. They're 17th in points allowed and 12th in yards allowed. So they're somewhere right in the middle.
They rank higher than the Cowboys.
Okay, well, way better. like 15 slots better,
Yes. 17
slots better, 20 slots better. So again, are you sure about this? That they're going to cover a 10-point spread? It's
No.
9 right now, but.
And the thing is, Skip, is about, oh, these are close losses. Bruh, you down Skip, 41-14 in the NFL game. Dude, this is not college.
No.
Teams don't normally get down 41-14 in the NFL game. You're down 27, you're down 19, you're down 15, 16 points a game. And you do this game after game after game. There's a recurring theme here. Your defense isn't that good. And you can't separate them. Skip, be like, oh, they got a great offense. But it's not offense. Well, okay, the offense going to go to the playoffs. The defense going to stay home.
Yep.
You're a team. And if the offense has a lull where you go 1 or 2 possessions and you don't score, the way the Cowboys defense is playing, Skip, they giving up. So now, what was think about it. They go 5 straight possessions without scoring, and Cleveland goes 21, 28, 31, 38, 41. On the next 5 possessions. That's what they did while your offense didn't score. How your offense supposed to, compete with that?
And it's Cleveland, not Kansas City.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so, and Baker's like, hey, you mean to tell me I can just hand the ball off? You get 8, you get 9, you get 10, you get 5, you get 4. Odell runs a reverse for 50 yards, but he bubbles 20 yards.
He bent it like Beckham, right? He bent it back 20 yards. And he still scored untouched.
And then D-Law, he all out here on social media acting up.
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah.
You want to talk about a social media victim? What does he think he's going to read on social media now?
Except in the last 13, 14 games, you got a half a sack.
Yeah.
You making 20 mil. And all that somebody got to do is go cut that tape on and watch that run. And you tell me who's trying to get Odell Beckham on the ground. Tell me the guy that says, you know what, this matters to me. Let me make a play and not run out of bounds. Not run to not to hit somebody. You're on the defensive side, Skip. You normally love contact. You love to run into people. They like running away from the guy. That you can talk, oh, we're not soft. I don't care what you want to call it. Cut the tape on. If I'm Mike McCarthy, I cut the tape on, I bring the guys in there. I say, now you tell me. I want to know the guy. I want you to raise your hand or say, who's trying to make this play on Odell Beckham? Okay, you go first. Who I want to be first? Look at this. Now, you tell me the guy. Now, I want to know why DeMarcus Lawrence is jogging. Tell me why he's jogging. Tell me why Jalen Smith is jogging until Odell breaks clear.
Yep.
You tell me why Robert Thomas is running out of bounds. That's what I want to know. Look at this.
No heart. They basically quit on.
Hey, did you mad enough talking about y'all? Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all. No. I do know that. But you know what, Skip? I recommend any Cowboy fan, not Cowboy fan, player, that's, hey, Sharpe, come watch tape with me. And let me tell you what, I welcome that opportunity.
Okay. I would welcome that opportunity for you to do it. I would like to do it, actually. I would like to break down that play with the whole defense. I would enjoy it.
Yes.
I would. Yeah,
I mean, Skip, you got to do is turn the tape on, look at all 22. Skip, guys are jogging. Guys are jogging. You're not trying to make no play. I hate calling out guys. But guys, that's the effort. They pay you too much money to give that kind of effort on that play at that juncture of the ball game. Because the game's not over, Skip. If we can get a stop, we get the ball back. We give the ball back to Dak. Who knows what could happen?
Who knows? You just cut it to 3, right? I've had to watch the same Halloween horror movie 4 straight times. And it happened again, and I will not be surprised if I have to watch a 5th one on Sunday against the Giants.
You can't win with that effort. I don't care what anybody said. You can say Cowboys. You cannot win with the effort that they gave on that play. That effort will get you beat every time, every game, down in, down out. There's a reason why, Skip. Defense is about effort. It's about effort. It's about getting off a block, getting off your man, making a play, and not saying, you know what, man, that's in Skip area. Skip will make that play. I'm good. Man, I did my job. No, bro, go make a play.
No mercy. The Heat are looking to even the NBA Finals against the Lakers tonight in Game 4. Miami got some momentum Sunday night thanks to Jimmy Butler's monster 40-point triple-double. In that game, Butler became the first player ever to outscore, out-rebound, and out-assist LeBron in a Finals game. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joining us this morning. Chris, do you expect LeBron to outplay Jimmy Butler?
Yes, I do, Jen. Look, obviously LeBron's number one motivation is to win the championship, his 4th ring. But Jimmy Butler gave him extra motivation on Sunday. Number one, as you said, he outplayed LeBron. Number 2, he talked trash with the "you're in trouble." But he said a few other things. He also said later that they're going to win Game 4 and even this thing up at 2-2, essentially guaranteeing another victory. He's also getting credit for guarding LeBron, and a lot of people are saying, hey, he forced LeBron into many of those 8 turnovers. The Heat have found something. Then Jimmy Butler talked about how that LeBron has gotten the best of him in the past too many times, but now Butler has a different group of guys with him, implying that LeBron only got the best of him because he had a better supporting cast, which is ridiculous. So I do expect LeBron to come out and play an exceptional game. I think he has 28 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 or 10 assists. I think he helps the Lakers win. I'll throw this out there, though. It is possible that Jimmy Butler outscores LeBron, and here's why. LeBron has another superstar to share the scoring load with. I expect Anthony Davis to follow up that mediocre game or poor game in Game 3 with at least 30 points. Every time in the playoffs that he's had a bad offensive game, he's averaged 40. He had 43 one game earlier and then 37 following another poor game. So AD will score a lot of points, so I think that'll limit how much LeBron scores. Jimmy Butler, of course, especially if Bam Adebayo doesn't play, Jimmy Butler has to score at least 30 for the Heat to have a shot. He's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to be making all the plays like he did in Game 3. So he could have good numbers, especially scoring-wise, but LeBron will play the better game and lead Lakers to victory.
Yes, I expect LeBron to outplay Jimmy Butler tonight. And I agree with you, Chris, not necessarily scoring, because Anthony Davis, they've run the offense through Anthony Davis all year, and especially in these playoffs. There's a reason why Anthony Davis averaged more points in the regular season and has averaged more points in the playoffs than LeBron James. They run the ball through. And I can't remember the first game that they played, they went to AD like 7 straight possessions, and he had more points. I mean, he had like the first 14, 16 points, because that's what Eagles do. And then once AD gets going, LeBron James will see what needs to be done after that and go from there. But I don't think they'll be as careless or as reckless with the basketball as they were. They understand what the Heat represents. They got reckless, they got careless, and before they knew it, they were later in the ball game and they were having to dig uphill. And even though Jimmy had this historic game and they turned the ball over 20 times, and AD nor LeBron played particularly well, AD because of foul trouble, LeBron because of the turnovers, they still had a 2-point lead with 9 minutes left in the ball game. And they completely fell apart after that. So I like where the Lakers are. And let this sink in. It took 52 games for someone to outscore, out-rebound, out-assist LeBron. Not only from the opposing team, even his team. I feel good. It won't happen again.
So what, we got a victory parade game tonight?
Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. That's what I predicted. I believe Chris predicted Lakers in 5, correct?
Yes.
As I recall.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I'm with both of you times 10. I want to challenge LeBron to have a king night tonight, because this could be a legacy-type game for LeBron. They're in some dangerous territory right now because the Heat have been playing angrier and angrier. I remind you also, LeBron walked off the floor 10 seconds prematurely, and I don't think the Heat will take that well. And then LeBron disagreed with Jimmy Butler about the origin of the trash talk, LeBron said, no, I didn't start it. He started it. Well, somebody's not telling the truth. So I think the Heat will come out tonight and play even angrier than they did in Game 3. I told Shannon earlier, I love LeBron the most when he plays angry. And I'm talking about focused angry. I'm not talking about out of control, want to fight you angry. I'm talking about, when LeBron comes out and says, I am all business tonight, and I am in attack mode from my first dribble.
Oh, you want to see him like he was in Denver when he came out the first half and dropped 29. You want to see that LeBron.
Yeah, and I don't even know what got into him that night, but tonight is deeper water because this Heat team could be dangerous if it gets to 2-2. If you let them seize momentum, they will run with it. And Jimmy Butler in Game 3 obviously outplayed LeBron in every way, shape, and form on both ends of the floor, and he called out LeBron. So now it's up to LeBron to stand up to the challenge. It's up to LeBron to get even with Jimmy Butler. And Shannon says, well, it's beneath LeBron's dignity. He doesn't have one-on-one contests with anybody. But I got to tell you, this is about as one-on-one as it's ever going to get for the King because Jimmy Butler is the whole show for the other team. It's an epic mismatch except for Jimmy Butler. I love his intangibles. I've never loved his overall talent. He's not the most gifted player. He's not the best shooter. He just knows how to win basketball games. And he also is very clever and creative in creating shots. And he knows how to create two-point shots because the incredible thing about his 40-point triple-double, he didn't even try a three because he's not very good from three.
That's amazing.
Okay? It is amazing. And on the other end, they found a new strategy. They scrapped the zone, and Jimmy said, let me take LeBron. And how did he guard him? He guarded him in the paint. He dared him. He went back to the old San Antonio Spurs philosophy. Dare him to shoot threes. And in the fourth quarter, LeBron had 3 uncontested, wide-open threes, and he LeBricked them. They didn't even come close. And you got to make those shots tonight because Jimmy's going to hang back, and he's going to bother you in the paint. He's going to try to get up with you and at least get a hand in your face and a hand on the basketball. And he forced LeBron into, what shocked me, 2 travels in the fourth quarter where he just sort of awkwardly lost his...
Before the chair for money.
Okay, well, he did. And it's like, huh? What am I doing? And he sort of stumbled across the lane. And the referees are like, I'm sorry, that's a travel. Well, I'd never seen that before, and he did it twice in the fourth quarter, and it was all about Jimmy Butler. So I do believe LeBron will come out with smoke coming out of his ears, nose, eyes. I think he needs to get even with Jimmy because Jimmy is everything to the Heat. And if LeBron wants to, he should take him. And if LeBron needs help on defense, he should get it because I think they should try to double Jimmy more than they did in Game 3 and get the ball out of his hands. Shannon says, well, they got too many snipers. Well, I'd rather the snipers try to beat me than Jimmy Butler because he is highly capable.
Well, to mention, before you go, Chris, they did do that against Jamal Murray. They trapped him, and they trapped James Harden.
Yep.
And they says, okay, Russ, do your thing. Everybody else can beat us. Okay, they played Jokic straight up, but they got the ball out of Murray's hand.
They did.
For the last 2 games, and it worked to their favor. So they just might.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, they may go that route. And what else is that without Bam Adebayo in, they had shooters all over the floor. Kelly Olynyk playing as a big man shooting threes. That took the Lakers' shot blockers away from the rim. And so Jimmy Butler could drive and not have to finish over the 7-footers. When Bam comes back and then AD or Dwight can stay near the rim, that'll be different for him. But that's why he was able to score 40 without even taking a 3-point shot. We know he's not much of a 3-point shooter, but he could get to the rim and finish without the bigs there. So that was a big factor as well.
So are you with Shannon? Do you think they're better off with Kelly Olynyk in the lineup over Bam?
I will not go that far. I mean, look, if they win tonight and Olynyk has a great game, Bam doesn't play, then maybe you can make an argument. But Bam does a lot. Obviously, he's great defensively. He's a really good passer. He doesn't shoot the 3 either, but I can't go that far because he's so tough, and he's kind of like one of the inspirational leaders of that team.
Yeah, he's the power source. He's the heart and soul.
Yep.
But my point is,
if they win tonight, if Miami wins tonight, obviously you got a series because beyond other things, Jimmy Butler will have trash-talked LeBron and outplayed him and live to tell about it. About it. So that'll be a factor. Miami already is confident and feeling good about itself. They'll be even more higher in that regard if they win tonight.
We're going to snuff that out. For me, Chris, in a vacuum, Bam is better than Olynyk. Bam is better than Miles Leonard. But what he does, what they give them that Bam doesn't, is live three-point shooters. And so now while you have Dwight Howard in the game, you neutralize that because he's not near the paint. He doesn't get the rebounds. He doesn't challenge shots. AD is away from the basket. He doesn't challenge. He doesn't get opportunity to rebound because they have to guard those guys. Bam is pick and roll, pick to the basket. Those guys are pick and roll and can pick and pop, which Bam does not do particularly well. So I just think they're different. They might not be better, but they're a very different team. And Bam in the lineup plays to the Lakers' hand. The bigs are around the basket, can challenge shots, rebound, as opposed to being away from the basket. But don't worry about all that. We're going to take care of that tonight. I'll be happy in the morning. I'll be happy in the morning.
Your co-star better rise and shine.
I ain't worried about AD.
Hey.
AD got this.
Hey.
65.
If he's guarded by Myers Leonard or Kelly Olynyk, he should get whatever he wants.
You want two cases?
He should go for 40. No, I don't.
I want two cases. LeBron and AD could get at least 65.
This should be a wipeout. You should win by 25.
Okay. No.
You said 6, Shannon, though.
Huh?
You said 6.
Oh.
I did.
Maybe you said 6, so maybe they lose tonight.
I was superstitious, Chris. I keep saying 6 because I said 6 the first second, and we would have been 5.
Superstitious? That's what it comes down to?
Yep.
All right, good to know. Chris, thank you.
5, okay.
I don't know. We're going to check in with you, I'm sure, tomorrow to break this one down, everything from Game 4.
No mercy.
The Texans fired head coach and general manager Bill O'Brien yesterday after their 0-4 start to the season. O'Brien, who's been with the club since 2014, had won 4 division titles but never advanced to the AFC Championship game. O'Brien's moves as GM have also raised eyebrows, including trading away Jadeveon Clowney and DeAndre Hopkins in the past year. So, Shannon, did he deserve to be fired?
Yeah, I think there was a new voice that needed to be heard, and I think J.J. Watt spoke that on Sunday, Skip. He said something has to change. He said, and I think that was when the ownership group said, you know what? That ain't just anybody. That's J.J. Watt speaking. And when J.J. said that, it seemed like it started with, but he set these chain of events in motion himself. When he became the general manager, Skip, he traded away Jadeveon Clowney, and you get a 3rd-round pick for Jadeveon Clowney. He let personal feelings get involved. Yeah. Dwayne Brown, you got a premier left tackle on your roster. You trade him to Seattle because he spoke out because he didn't like what Mr. McNair said about prisoners running the prison, and you trade him. So in the process, you're like, well, damn, we're out of left tackle now. Now you got to give up first rounders to go get Laramie Tunsil.
You gave away your draft future.
You gave away your draft future for him.
Yep.
And then you trade away D. Hopkins for a running back in the 2nd round. Skip, ain't nobody trading away a running back for a top wide receiver. You gave up a top 3 wide receiver for what? Maybe a 10th or 11th best running back?
And he now leads the league in catches.
And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, you let Honey Badger walk in free agency.
You did.
So Bill O'Brien, the general manager, did Bill O'Brien, the head coach, a terrible disservice.
He did.
And so in the process, maybe I want to keep the head coach, but the head coach is the general manager, kind of like what happened with Mike Shanahan when he was in Denver, Skip. Mike was the head coach and the general manager. Mr. B really wanted to keep the head coach, but he knew there's no way he was going to be able to fire the general manager and keep the head coach. And I believe the ownership group, I think the son is taking over now for his father.
Cal
is taking over for his father. He says, well, I want to fire the general manager, but since the general manager is the head coach also, I'm going to have to fire both of you. He's done a terrible. It was time for a new voice. You got a premier quarterback, and for whatever reason, whatever he's saying is not resonating in that locker room. And so it's time to get a new voice. But he blew this. With all these bad moves, he let it get personal with he and D-Hop. He let it get personal with he and Dwayne Brown. He and Jadeveon Clowney. And they've ruined this. He's ruined this team. He did this on his own.
Agreed. My first reaction was yesterday, what took you so long? This has gone from bad to worse.
Yes.
Now they're 0-4. I am the biggest Deshaun Watson fan, and I believe he's been handicapped by Bill O'Brien, the play caller, and Bill O'Brien, the general manager, because not only did he have total control of the football operation, then he became the GM. So how did he sort of charm or con his way into that? I don't know. But with the McNair family, he pulled that off.
I think, Skip, because the son maybe was back and he's like, well, hey, he's been around Coach Belichick and he knows this. Just let him, and we'll just try to figure this thing out as we go along. And he's like, man, we with Jadeveon Clowney for a third. We let Dwayne Brown walk, and did we have to give up first round? We had a left tackle. Skip, why would you trade your left tackle to end up having to acquire another one with first round picks?
Don't know. He got away with it. He stayed afloat because they won another bad division 4 times.
Right.
That's 4 division titles and 4 playoff games, and they won a couple of those at home.
Right.
It's really not. It's not enough because the division was so bad.
Right.
It was so winnable that it sugarcoated what was not a healthy situation.
Agreed.
Okay, so now we look back at Bill Belichick disciples, chips off the old block. There are none, because it's like the Jimmy Johnson staff that I knew so well in Dallas. They're all great guys, and they all had their moments as head coaches, but they're not Jimmy.
No, because you don't have Troy. You don't have Emmett. You don't have Michael.
No, and you don't have that force field who is Jimmy Johnson. Dave Wannstedt's a really good football coach and a great defensive coordinator, but as a head coach, he had his moments, but he couldn't be Jimmy. Norv Turner had his moments, but he couldn't be Jimmy. You can go down the line.
Romeo Crennel and Charlie Wise.
Right, just go down the line.
Josh McDaniel.
Yeah, back in Dallas.
Oh, you're talking about Dallas. Okay.
Butch Davis.
Butch Davis, yeah.
They would have
Dave
their
Campo.
moments. Yes, there you go. There you go. So find me one Belichick disciple or chip off the block. Show me one who had great success, who became the next Belichick.
No.
It never happened.
Well, let me ask you a question, Skip. Do they going to bring Tom Brady? Because that's what they needed to ask him.
Yeah.
I understand you spent all your time under Coach Belichick, but when you come to my team, are you bringing Tom? Because if you look at Mike Holmgren, until he got, look at Andy. Andy had some little success, but it wasn't until he got Mahomes that, because he had Brett Favre. You know, Brett Favre wins you a lot of games. Brett Favre got a lot of people here. Think about all the guys. Skip, Mariucci, Gruden. A lot of guys got jobs because of Brett Favre. It's kind of like the same situation in Baltimore. Ray Lewis got a lot of defensive coordinators and position coaches, head coaching jobs.
So I read early this morning, the latest report and speculation out of Houston is that the pro personnel director used to work for New England and is very close with Josh McDaniels, that he might be at the top of the list. What happened to Josh McDaniels as a head coach in Denver? Help me out.
He was terrible.
Okay.
Skip, it's hard to find, Skip. It's hard to find someone that at least someone says, you know what, he was okay. Skip, I defy you to go to Denver. I'm talking about from the video to the equipment to the training staff to find one person to say something nice about Josh McDaniels. One.
Okay. Good point. And I also defy you to go around the league and find one person who has something bad to say about Eric Bieniemy.
Oh, yeah, E.B. Cool.
Who's obviously calling plays for Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
And is integral in putting those game plans together with the great offensive mind that is Andy Reid.
Skip, some of these jobs going to come available.
Yeah.
Okay, the Houston job is available. Okay, Romeo Crennel is going to be the interim head coach. The Jets will come available. There are going to be some jobs come available. Now, if EB doesn't get one of these jobs, they're going to be a problem. Now, I understand all this lip service and end racism and we can do this and all that. All that's fine and good. These slogans and hashtags work wonderful. But where's the hiring practices? Where's the fruit? I need a tree to bear fruit. Because y'all keep telling me this. Y'all keep selling us this. Oh, yeah. Well, he's ready. Okay.
He's been ready.
Yeah. Because I saw a guy that was that's a special teams coach. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be, because John Harbaugh was a special teams coach.
I got it.
But hell, Joe Judge got a job at Eric Bieniemy calling plays in the Super Bowl. And he ain't got no job.
Nope.
He's still out. Well, he doesn't have a head job. So, and Skip, also, I think the writing was on the wall because they could look and see. The Tennessee Titans gotten better. Their quarterback play has gotten better. The Colts, their quarterback play is better now they got Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
So what was going to be a foregone conclusion because we had the best quarterback in this division, we're going to win this division, no longer. I still believe he's the best, but because of Tennessee getting better, because the Colts are getting better, what are we holding on to him for? You let DeAndre Hopkins go for a running back? Skip, and now you don't have a first-round, second-round pick in 2021. So
Well, are you saying if Eric Bieniemy got this job, it would be a dead-end street for him?
It's going to be a wild, Skip.
Yep.
Are they going to give him? Because he's like, you know what? I need me one of these Matt Rule. I need one of these 6-7 year deals.
Yep.
I don't need no 3 or 4 year deal. I need 6 or 7.
I agree with that. I hear
because I ain't got no first round. I got no first or second round pick in 2021.
You got one good thing going for you. You got that quarterback.
Yes.
I would love to see Eric with that quarterback, EB as you call him.
Yep.
Good things would start happening.
Well, you better get one of these jobs, Jets. Somebody.
Yep.
No mercy.
Tonight on FS1, the National League Division Series begins with a pair of Game 1s. The Marlins battle Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. Eastern. Then later on, Fernando Tatis Jr. leads the Padres against Mookie Betts and the Dodgers at 9 p.m. Eastern. The NLDS begins tonight only on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Well, the Cowboys are a disappointing 1-3. Dak has thrown for 974 yards in the past 2 weeks, the most over a 2-game span in NFL history. But when asked about that record on Sunday afternoon, Dak was pretty blunt, saying, quote, "I care about one stat, and that's to win. So when we don't do that, no other stats matter." However, in a recent look at Dak's play in the clutch, defined as when the team is down 4 to 8 points late in a game when they need a touchdown, the numbers show that he's below the league average in yards per attempt, touchdown rate, and sack rate. I don't know about that. It is always good, though, when Reggie Bush joins Undisputed. Reggie, I start with you. Is Dak Prescott overrated?
No, Dak Prescott is not overrated. I actually love the Dak Prescott that I'm seeing right now because I feel like this Dak Prescott we're seeing right now is a very mature, calm, and poised quarterback in the pocket. And we've seen him make really good throws week in and week out, each and every play, especially this season. But I believe that Dak Prescott is a product of his environment. I believe what's happening with the Dallas Cowboys is a product of Jerry's world. And this is the circus kind of that Jerry has created. And I look at Mike McCarthy as a head coach because he's the one that's leading the ship. And for anybody out there who may or may not understand, an NFL football team or any football team takes on the personality of its head coach, right? And so what I see right now from the Dallas Cowboys is the same thing I saw from Mike McCarthy when he was with the Green Bay Packers. Now, I do want to give you guys one stat. In 2018, Mike McCarthy's defense was the number 22 scoring defense in the NFL. In 2019, when Matt LaFleur took over, they jumped to the number 9 defense in just 1 year with most of the same players. So what does that tell you? On our college football show, we talk a lot about the development of players. I don't believe Mike McCarthy is the right person for this job. I don't believe he's developing the players the right way. I believe he's developing the offense. He's a mastermind on offense. But when you look at defense, that's not his forte. And I don't believe he's developing the defensive players. I would hire Mike McCarthy as my offense coordinator any day of the week. But as a head coach, we've already been there and done that. And so we're seeing Jerry Jones trying to go back to the past and bring head coaches back now to the current state of football and trying to adjust, to the current game. I don't blame Dak Prescott. I don't think he's washed up. I believe he's a product of his environment, and I believe Mike McCarthy can't coach defense.
Wow. I don't believe Dak is overrated. I know his numbers are overrated. Let this sink in for a second. Dak Prescott has thrown 2 passes when his team had the lead. Reggie, we're 4 weeks into the season. He's thrown 2 passes when his teams had the lead. When the score was tied, 14-14. The next 5 possessions, 0, 8 of 15, 53 yards. And I know one thing, the score was 41-14. That's what it was.
By the start of the fourth quarter, yeah.
91% of Dak's yards have come when they're trailing. That's 1,500. Dak has got a little over 1,600 yards. So 1,500 has come when they're trailing. Skip. 50% of Dak's yards have come when the team is trailing by at least 2 scores. I ain't got nothing to say.
That's it?
Hey, I ain't saying Dak overrated, but I'm saying these numbers are hella overrated.
I think you just said he's
play
overrated.
calling, though, man.
So, Reggie Bush, I admire your courage plunging out to the end of the limb. You're saying Mike McCarthy is the wrong man, wrong time, wrong job. I do remind you, Mike McCarthy has been 10 years ago. He did win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, and was it Dom Capers was the coordinator?
Capers was,
I believe he was. But somehow that defense was good enough to win a Super Bowl, right? I don't disagree with your premise about the rest of it. And then some cronyism took place because once upon a time, Mike Nolan, when he was the head coach in San Francisco, we're going way back when, he gave Mike McCarthy a start as a coordinator, and Mike paid him back by bringing him out of sort of semi-retirement.
Was that 04-05? Because Alex Smith was the first pick in the draft.
Way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, again, he hired Mike Nolan to be the coordinator this year in Dallas. And the last time Mike was a coordinator was in Atlanta in 14, 15, 16, and they were like at the bottom of the barrel in defense. Well, how can you sell that? So the defense is all-time. It's the worst defense. I've been following this team since 1960. It's the worst since the expansion Cowboys in 1960.
We don't count them.
We don't count them. So back to Dak. Look, I love what he's made of because you want to talk about a comeback warrior. You put him in a desperate situation. He isn't just good. He's all-time great. And you got to give him some credit for the empty calories because empty calories aren't that easy to he puts a, listen to this. You want a stat? The last 3 games, Dak Prescott has thrown for more yards in the last 3 than anyone in NFL history has thrown in a 3-game span.
Yes.
What happened? They should have lost all 3, right? Because they should have lost the Atlanta game, right? Okay. So he baffles me. I have a hard time drawing a beat on him because even last year he would pull off great comebacks, and he couldn't put the exclamation point on it. He couldn't close the deal. 3 quick examples. Remember the game at the Jets when you were up in Denver rooting like crazy up in the owner's box for the Jets? Well, he rallied them all the way back, and they got a 2-point conversion try with 43 seconds left to send it to overtime. And he throws it to your man, Jason Witten, and it wasn't the best throw. It was a little offline. The safety came in and got a hand on it, okay? And then remember what happened against Minnesota? He was on fire, driving them down the field. Looked like they were going to pull out a last-ditch touchdown to win the game. Then they go Zeke on 2nd and 3rd down. Then it's 4th and 5, and he throws it in the dirt to Zeke. And it was a terrible pass. I was the first to admit it was a bad pass, okay? And then what happened at Philly? Late in the game, he gets Tavon Austin wide open like 10 yards behind the cornerback, and he just airmailed him. He overthrew him by 10 yards.
Yes.
Okay? Well, I can't defend any of that, so it's back to those clutch stats. When you're within a touchdown in the last 4 minutes, he's been below average because he doesn't have exclamation points where he threw that one. Now, opening game at Rams, I thought the one to Gallup was going to be that pass that got them to overtime, and they called a bogus push-off. Yeah, it was bogus.
But here's the thing. Reggie, you know this. It's a lot easier to play when you're 25 points down because there's no expectations of you coming back. So anything that you get the game close, people go like, oh, man, he almost brought him back. But look at, like you said, the clutch throws. Look at when the game was within 3 or the game was tied. Now all of a sudden the numbers don't look so. What happened? You mean to tell me it's tied 14-14? You go 5 straight possessions and only can get 5 first downs with 53 yards, and then after the game is 41-14, you go on this historic tear? Something's not adding up, Skip.
Okay, so at Seattle, he pulls off a great escape. It wasn't good. It was great. I don't know how he got loose and stood upright.
I don't either.
Okay, without falling. And yet he comes up, and it didn't look like he had a good grip on the ball. It's a little wobbly. And now if you pull that off and you throw one in the end zone and your guy catches it, we got a whole different conversation right now. But he throws it to the other team. Okay? Well, I can't defend that. So I'm seeing a guy who, remember what Rob Ryan said a couple of weeks ago? He's Jordan-esque in these comebacks because he's, to Reggie's point, he is so poised, he is so calm, he is so in control and in command until you got to punctuate it with, this is the one that won the game, and I don't have that. Okay?
Yeah. But Skip, I want to push back on one thing because we saw videos of Mike McCarthy sitting in his farmhouse going over film. He even put together a staff while he didn't have a job.
He did.
Talking about how, listen, I want to stay invested in the game. I want to continue to study. I want to continue to build. I want to continue to grow so that when that next opportunity comes, I am ready to go. Well, here we are, Mike McCarthy. Here we are, Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. You have done all that studying and preparation for what? What did you learn? How did you get better? How are you going to develop this defense? Because this defense was good with Jason Garrett. They had a top 10 defense. They were nasty. Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, DeMarcus Lawrence. They got some players on that football team. And what it comes down to is, are you able to develop the talent on the football field? We've seen Bill O'Brien get fired. Adam Gase is coming up. We got a couple other coaches probably coming up. But what that tells me is you either are developing talent or you're not developing talent at all. And right now, I see Mike McCarthy as a great offensive coordinator. But as a head coach, I don't see it's not working right now, and the players aren't responding to it. And so what happened is, Shannon Sharpe, you notice, what happens is when you're telling me to do something in practice in the week of, and then I go on the football field and it doesn't work, or we're still losing games, what happens? Players start to lose trust. And when players lose trust early in you, season's over. Yeah. Season's over. Ain't nothing they could do.
I think the thing also is that Mike McCarthy, Skip, got bailed out a lot because he's had some bad defenses. And Aaron Rodgers, the season that they went 15-1, their defense was dead last. But because Aaron Rodgers played at a historic level, he was able to overcome that. And we get that. Sometimes you get quarterbacks, and Tom Brady can overcome sometimes when the defense is playing bad. But Dak is not at that level yet. He's not. He can win a game or two, but he hadn't turned the corner completely. Is that in a game like this, like we have, if that's Aaron Rodgers win this game. If that's Tom Brady, they win this game. And that's where Dak's going to have to be 8 times out of 10. When he get him reeling like this, he has to finish. He has to carry it across the finish line, and he has been unable to do that more times than not. But I'm just trying to figure out, why do you keep putting yourself in this situation, though, Skip?
Yep. Okay, just quick points of order, just to be fair about it. They're down Leighton Vander Esch. He's gone for a while.
He can't stay healthy.
Okay, he can't, and neither can Sean Lee. So two your stalwarts are gone from the defense, but there's still a lot of high-paid stars over there.
They should have been moved on from Sean Lee.
Okay, I got it. I am with you on that. But in the end, Reggie, I don't know if you saw the Odell play the other day, but Shannon and I just go out of our minds about it because he bent it back 20 yards, and the whole defense should have been waiting on him maybe 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and nobody tried to tackle him. Well, that's a quit play. That's a give-up play, and that reflects on the coaching staff to me. In the end.
Reggie,
we're showing it right now. Reggie, I mean, you tell me the guy that's trying to get there.
Somebody tackle him.
Look at the guy.
They ran out of bounds.
Where is the pursuit? Where is the pursuit? Where are the safeties? Where are the corners?
I don't know.
Why is your middle linebacker the only person chasing down Odell Beckham Jr.? That's the issue. And one point I do want to make, man. I'm watching the Green Bay Packers last night. Aaron Rodgers looks absolutely happy. He just looks like a kid again. Like, I thought at one point him and Matt LaFleur were going to hug and kiss on the sideline. Did you guys see that moment where he had his hands on his shoulder? I've never seen Aaron Rodgers act like that with a head coach. So that tells you everything you need to know. The players are either responding to the head coach or they're not. I don't need to wait 3, 4, 5 years to know that. I don't want to waste my career waiting for a coach to figure it out for the next 4 or 5 years. If you're the New York Jets, don't call me. Don't trade for me. Don't draft me. If you're the New York Giants, same thing, because you guys are not developing talent. You're not putting your players in position to succeed. And then guess what? Players can't get paid. When players can't get paid, that's the issue.
I saw Aaron Rodgers do this after that touchdown last night. He got in front of the camera. I don't want to see Tom do that. No, I don't want to see Tom do that. Aaron already did.
Guns. Tom, liability.
Reggie, such a great point about Aaron Rodgers. How often do we see him looking that happy? I hadn't thought about it that way.
13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions will do that, averaging 300 yards a game. It'll do that.
Good? Okay, that's how it is. Reggie, we appreciate your time. We'll check in with you soon.
No mercy.
After icing the game on Sunday, Jimmy Butler could be seen telling the Lakers they were in trouble as he walked toward the bench. Butler claimed the comment was in retaliation to LeBron, who told him the Heat were in trouble earlier in the game. However, yesterday, LeBron denied starting any trash talk, saying that he lets his game do the talking on the court. So, Shannon, what do you believe?
I believe that LeBron James goes into a game, he doesn't look to trash talk. Now, some guys, Skip, that's their game. Like Larry Bird was a trash talker. You can't guard me, home. Coach, really? You gonna put that guy on me? Larry Bird said it was disrespectful if the coach put a white guy on here. He said that's disrespectful. How dare you do that to me?
He did.
So for me,
by the way, the guy I'm looking at right now, he led the league in trash talking, right?
I got it. And Skip, it was never really the guy that was covering me. I always got into it with defensive linemen and Mark's arrest who's comes over here a bunch. Like, why do you always get in talks in the conversation with guys I got to block? Because they're the only ones that want to talk to me. But for me, Skip, that was my thing. I felt like, I was going to gain an advantage. Some guys like, side like LeBron says, my game does its talking. When I drop, 35 or 40-point triple-double, do I really have to say anything? Especially after we won the game. But some guys, hey, boop, got you again. Man, you can't do it. And now the thing, Skip, Russ is rocking the baby. Or AD and somebody else, Kevin Durant kind of started it when he hit a shot over D-Wade in the finals, and you're like, you too little. That's even though he didn't say anything, Skip, that's trash talking.
Yep.
Okay, Jimmy, you got us. You got us. Hey, we in trouble. I want you to have the energy tonight. Now, I want you to say the same thing after the Knights game, because we got something for you. Now, Bron coming. He coming, Skip.
Okay, you did not answer the question.
What?
Do you think LeBron started it and Jimmy finished it?
LeBron gonna finish it. I didn't start it, but he gonna finish it.
So that means LeBron James yesterday called Jimmy Butler a liar about trash talk.
So I think the thing was, Skip, Jimmy probably started talking because when they got it to that big lead, and then when Kyle Kuzma hit that 23, hit the shot at the three-point at the end of the first quarter, that made it 26-23, LeBron just said, they're in trouble. They're in trouble now.
You don't think he said to Jimmy, you're in trouble? Because that's what Jimmy said.
I don't believe bro said that.
Okay.
Don't talk like that. That ain't him.
Now you are calling Jimmy a liar.
I'm saying Jimmy is misspeaking the truth. I think Jimmy started. Bron probably retaliated, and then Jimmy forgot the part that he started and just got the part that. But that's okay. It's all good. It don't matter. It don't matter who started.
You used a euphemistic way to call Jimmy Butler a
I ain't
liar.
nobody call him
He
Jimmy.
misspoke the truth, right? He was careless with the truth.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. I believe that LeBron said exactly what Jimmy said that he said.
But you don't believe Jimmy said nothing at that point in time. So when they was up 13, 22-9, Jimmy didn't say anything.
I don't know who I believe LeBron started it. That's my gut feeling. Now, Jimmy didn't let him get away with that at that point. I believe he responded.
I mean, if you go back and look at the film, Jimmy hits a shot over, I think it's either Caldwell Pope or Danny Green, and he does this. He's too small.
Okay. So?
Jimmy did that.
Okay. So what?
So he started it.
Well, he didn't start it.
Yes, he did.
You mean in the first quarter he did that?
Yes.
I don't buy that.
Yes. Go back and look it up. He did it.
Okay. I believe LeBron said, you're in trouble. As soon as Kuzma hit that shot, he said, you're in trouble.
Well, you are. A heap of it.
Okay. So who walked off the floor 10 seconds early in this game?
The Lakers.
No. LeBron James. He led two teammates, Rondo and Kuzma, went right behind him, but he started it. He left early. It's a show of disrespect.
Oh, my God.
Well, you know it, and I know it. It is.
Skip, look, he didn't realize that there was going to be 0.7 seconds. Okay. Would it have been nice for him to remain on the court? Sure. So if that's what the Heat going to use for motivation, like LeBron and the Lakers disrespected us, they didn't want to stay there, even though we stayed when they had us down by X amount of points and they beat us by 15, 17 in game one, beat us by 10, 12 in game two, we stayed it out. And they didn't want to do that because they don't think we deserve to be on the court. If y'all want to use that as your motivation, use it.
They will use it. You know it, and I know it.
Guess what else you're going to use?
Okay, I'm going to say that LeBron is up against a different beast here in Jimmy Butler. He's not the most talented. He's not wildly gifted, but his intangibles are equal at least to LeBron's intangibles. He is not afraid of LeBron James. In fact, I think he enjoys going at LeBron James and going after LeBron James. He finally
won a game, Skip.
Yep.
Finally won a game.
He did. And he says he's going to win Game 4. He's on record, we are going to win Game 4. And I've used this before, I'm going to tell you again. My favorite quote came back in my days covering the early Dallas Mavericks. They got all the way to the conference finals against Showtime in 1988, and it went the home team won each game all the way to the final. They ended up, the Lakers won Game 7 at the Fabulous Forum out here in Southern California, which is about to be the Clippers' new home. Right?
It's still going to be our building, Skip.
Okay. So Mark Aguirre, my man Mark, before Game 7, uttered this quote to me: "The Lakers don't like to be went after." Maybe not totally grammatically correct, but I love the way it came across because they didn't. Magic and Kareem and Worthy didn't like to be went after by Aguirre and Blackman and Derek Harper and Roy Tarpley. They had firepower. They were young, upcoming firepower. And if they played fearlessly, that game went to the wire in Game 7. And finally, Magic said, "I'll take Roy Tarpley, the 7-footer, and I'll take him out of the game the last 5 minutes." The point was, the Mavericks got that far because they were no longer afraid of the Lakers. Well, this team isn't nearly as talented, this Heat team, as the Dallas Mavericks were in 1980. Go look up that. They had Detlef Schrempf. They were loaded with young talent that was about to come of age. And my point is, Jimmy Butler's already come of age. And he said after the game that he's sick and tired of losing to LeBron, but now he's on a different team with different teammates. Okay. So he's saying their intangibles, their guts, their mental toughness is different than any team he's been on up against LeBron. So I'm saying that.
So you felt that. So when he had Taj and Joakim Noah and all those guys, so those mentality, what that. Now, you told me Joakim Noah was Defensive Player of the Year. You told me he was a dog, Taj Gibson.
Okay. Who's the overseer of this franchise? Pat Riley.
Right.
Who is the coach? Eric Spoelstra. Championship coach, both of them championship overseer.
I thought you liked Tibbs.
Yeah. Who?
Thibodeau.
What? I like him okay as a defensive coordinator.
Right.
So what? Okay? This is different.
You know what?
You saw what they did to Milwaukee. You saw what they did to Boston.
You're right, Skip. You know what? When you win, you get to talk as much as you want.
Yep.
You get to talk.
Yep.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler will not back down.
No, we don't want him to.
Okay.
No, we don't want him to back down.
So you've been called out, and now you've called him a liar. You're going to get it right back between the eyes tonight.
LeBron and AD gonna handle this.
Yeah, well, AD better handle it.
LeBron and AD gonna handle this. Don't worry about how it get handled.
So it's 2-on-1.
Don't worry about how it get handled. Don't worry about it. You know, hey, when kids used to act up to me, I had a big sister, I had a big brother. One of them was gonna handle it. It was gonna get handled, though.
Yep.
Oh, you got to go tell. Don't worry about what I told.
So now you say LeBron has the equivalent of a big brother, AD?
We're going to handle it. We are going to handle this.
He should handle it.
We going to handle it.
I want to see him handle it. I want to see a Jimmy Butler Memorial 40, 11, and 13 from LeBron.
What you going to see is a butt whipping.
Wouldn't that be a statement?
What you going to see tonight is a butt whipping.
Yep.
That's what you're going to see.
By how many?
Good old-fashioned.
How many?
10 to 15.
That's not a butt whipping.
Yes, it is.
Come on.
It won't even be close.
Go 20
There might
25.
be a point we up by 20, 25.
Well, that's what I just said.
No, but I'm saying, Skip, you know, cause LeBron going to get a rest. LeBron going to come out. Because the next game ain't till Friday.
He doesn't come out of these games. He stat pads like a maniac.
We about to talk about the guy that stat pad. But you know what, Skip? We good for 40 tonight. We already done told we got 40 in us tonight.
You got 40?
40
that's all I want to hear. Oh, 40 minutes. I thought you meant 40 points. Well, Jimmy's got 45 in him because he will play 45 minutes.
We got about 60, I would say somewhere between 63 and 67 points between the two of them.
Between the two. 32 and 33.
Okay.
25 rebounds.
That Shannon uses when talking about the Lakers. It never gets old around here.
No mercy.
The Bucs' victory over the Chargers on Sunday gave Tom Brady his 222nd career win, passing former teammate Adam Vinatieri for the NFL record of most wins by a player at any position. Brady commented about the accomplishment on social media, saying, "Nothing in football is achieved as an individual. I'm so thankful to be playing a game I love and so lucky to have made so many friends along the way." I love that quote. Shannon, I know you do too. How impressive is this?
It's a great achievement. The consistent thing is that he's winning. And I think it's a very similar situation to LeBron. We sometimes take for granted how long they've been at their craft and how long they've been at the top. And see, unlike you, you're talking about, oh, he's played that long, that's why he's doing that. I don't do that. I'm gonna give the man his credit today. I'm gonna give him his flowers, something you have yet to do to GOAT James. But for Tom Brady to have played as long as he's played and to been at the height, the apex at which he's played at, it just goes to show you. You just take for granted. And no, I didn't think a player could play this long and be this good, this consistent. But he has, and 220 wins in an NFL career. You're lucky to get 220 games, Skip. Because that's over 15 years. I mean, that's what? 10 years at 16 games, that's 160. So another 3 years, so that's about 14 years, Skip, to get just that many games. Forget, that's if you win them all. So for him to win 222 games, Skip, wow.
So you're extremely impressed.
Look, Chuck, for somebody that played the game and understand how hard it is to win. And to win that many, he won more games than I played.
And yet, I, for one, am not that impressed with this.
No.
He's 43 years old. He's started 287 games.
So let that sink in, Skip.
Okay, well, let this sink in. He's going to pass Bruce Matthews for second on the list pretty soon, and then by the end of the year, he's going to pass Brett Favre for the most starts ever in an NFL career.
And I didn't think anybody would break Brett Favre's record, Skip.
Okay.
I didn't.
That's 298, and he's now at 287. So if he stays on track, I'll knock on wood for him. If he stays healthy the rest of the year, by the end of the year, he will break Brett Favre's longevity record for starts, okay? Well, yeah, he's really good because he's the GOAT. So how can I be that impressed with 222? We're just talking about the regular season wins.
Right. Win, Skip.
Okay.
Win. You know how hard it is to win in this league?
Okay, I do, but I also know that he is the unquestioned GOAT. LeBron James is not the unquestioned GOAT. He's the phony GOAT, and you call him GOAT James, and it offends me every time you do it. I like cringe.
No cringe.
I clench my teeth every time I hear it.
And you're going to have all the records when it's all said and done. Just like Tom's going to have all the records. My guy will have all the records.
So all you need to know about LeBron James is he's already played 193 more regular season games than Michael Jordan played. He's already played in the regular season 7,540 more minutes. So all these longevity records, achievements that he piles up are bogus to me because he's just played that long.
Well, think about it. Well, how many more games did he play? Did Tom played in Peyton Manning? How many more games? How many more years? Okay. It happens if you play, Skip, if you played long, but it also goes to show the level at which he's playing at. You can play long and not accumulate these numbers. Most people, once they get to a certain point, the numbers start to diminish.
But you always compare him to Jordan and say he's better than Jordan.
He is.
And we don't compare Tom Brady to anybody because he's the GOAT. You admit he's the GOAT. Tom is competing with himself. That's all. That's
what LeBron doing.
He is not.
Competing with himself.
Nobody thinks that except you. You're on an island.
GOAT James. You don't want to give that man credit, but when it's all said and done.
GOAT James?
40,000.
That is so offensive. That's blasphemous.
40,000, 10 and 10 is going to be undeniable. 40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists.
See, you're just giving me accolades, achievement, statistical.
What the hell is winning as an accolade?
These are longevity achievements.
Tom Brady played 21 years.
LeBron James is 3-6 in the finals. 3-6.
Hey.
It's terrible.
He lost. But he's about to be 4-6.
Okay, 4-6. That's the other guy went 6-0, and he is the man.
He only went to 6?
Yes.
He only went to 6?
And he won MVPs in all 6 of them.
Only went to 6.
Can you believe that?
They're going to turn it into the LeBron James Invitational.
And you're about to win.
That's what they call the finals.
You're about to win the 4th, but you're not going to be the MVP because your co-star is actually the star.
Well, Tom Brady came because Tom Brady is, there are a couple of times he hadn't been the MVP. Deion Branch.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman. A broken down Julian Edelman won MVP of the Super Bowl.
All right, guys, I'm interrupted. No mercy. We're just hours away from tipping off Game 4 between the Lakers and Heat. Miami will look to even the series and capitalize on Jimmy Butler's 40-point triple-double, while LeBron and AD will try to bounce back after they score just 40 points combined on Sunday. So, Shannon, give us LeBron's line, AD's line, and the final score.
Final score, I believe, will be 130-115. LeBron will have 30, 14, and 10. AD will have 36, 11,
and whatever.
4 assists, 3 blocks.
Yeah. Okay, got it. And you will be a virtual Lakers fan tonight on the broadcast. Am I right? Wearing your GOAT mask. Am I right?
I will, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to outdo you here. I say LeBron goes Jimmy Butler on Jimmy Butler. I say he goes 40, 12, and 12. I say AD chips in 30 and 15. I say Lakers win much bigger than you even say. My score is 130 to 105, so by 25.
Wow. I mean, you got them good. You hit them. I was getting them 66. You give them the magic number was 70.
I got them 7-0, hitting the big 7-0 together.
With 25 rebounds.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be a whitewash. They're definitely going to blow them out if you hit those numbers.
Yep.
But, I like 30, 14, and 10. That's a nice number, triple dub. He's been flirting with her all series long, and then Jimmy Butler.
Will we see the GOAT mask virtually tonight?
Yes.
You will wear it?
I'm going to wear it.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a mask on.
Jinxing it, Shannon. You can't put the GOAT mask on during the game.
Huh? Yeah.
I'm just warning you right now.
That's LeBron.
That is it for Undisputed. We will have full reactions tomorrow morning. Have a good day, guys.